Good evening, Blood Bowl fans, and welcome back to another episode of Superfed Presents Rebel Action covering the REL. And today we're going to be taking a look at a Division 1 game, which I have not done yet so far this season. Our co-host of our weekly recap, Rumblebee, played the number 1 team, Waeve Skinky Boiz, and it's at his request that we're going to be covering this episode. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and kick things off with our Division 1 intro. Actually, before I do the intro, do the disclaimer. Warning, what you are about to hear is in fact opinion. It is not necessarily a representation of the league, coaches, or channel. You will hear things that may not make you feel good. This is called criticism. Sometimes criticism can even be subjective. Blood Bowl is a game of dice and strategy, and there will be comments on both dice and strategy. It does not necessarily mean that the subjects are good or bad people, but they probably are bad coaches. This is sarcasm. Either way, if you think it is offensive to be told you are wrong, tell someone else who cares. Enjoy. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. For those of you, let's see, Waeve, if you've been subscribed to this channel for a long time, you would know Waeve. I've been covering Waeve since his team, the Skinky Boys, started, back when I was doing the recaps with Trunkhead. And he's got a Lizardmen team. He's been in the playoffs multiple times. He is an exceptional coach, considering this is a third season Lizardmen team making it all the way to Division 1. And he kicked things off with a bang. Really, going into this week, he was tied for first with Duberman. So after beating Duberman, so yeah, it's a good coach on a good team up against Rumblebee, who had a good team, and then he lost his all-star werewolf, Rod Longstaff, which we have talked about on the recap multiple times. Week 1, and he's been in a bit of a tailspin ever since. But he's on the verge of trying to turn that around. And in this match, he's got a buttload of inducements. He lost a werewolf against me last week as well, so that's 2 werewolves down for this season. Now, while that does suck, it does give you a lot of inducements. So Rumblebee picked up 2 babes and Wilhelm Chain, who is a strength 4 wrestle werewolf with catch as well, which is kind of weird. Catch is always surprising to me on this player, but it gets used often enough. Obviously that is. So looks like Rumblebee will be defending, and Waeve is going to be going first here, and quick snap for the Skinky Boys. Nice deep kick. That was a choice by Rumblebee to kick it deep. Personally, against a team like the Lizards, they've got so much movement. I actually would rather kick it close just to kind of force the engagement a little bit earlier, see where they're going to stack up, rather than giving them free turns in the back just to play it safe. But that's with style preference more than anything. Immediate pile-on out of the gate with no armor break. We're looking to get some early attrition, just a stun. Harry Cox also going down. And moving the Croxagore up to make sure that the guard is placed on all 3 of those guys. You blitz also onto a zombie. Personally, I would actually try and set up for my blitz to be on this white. Regen's annoying enough, but it is easier to knock down this guy. But if he's going to give me a hit on a guard white, I would probably take the hit on the guard white. There's one bench for Rumblebee and one as well for Skinky Island Boiz, who are keeping their natural one-turner on the sidelines on their drive. When you get a natural one-turner, you always, in my opinion, want to play defense first, just to get the chance to pop him out and get the one-turn on turn 8 rather than turn 16. Maybe that was a choice by Rumblebee to defend first. I missed the toss. I see Necro setting up for a big foul with the blitz from Cheney on this Saurus that blitzed the zombie. I like this. Get that dirty player kick in the air. A 4 assist foul. Ooh. Send off on the stun. Referee is not having it, and Buck Naked is not going to be returning a kick in the second half. I still like the foul, though. I think that was the right call. If you can get a Saurus off early, you are going to be in great shape. Standing these zombies up because, well, guess what? That's zombie's job more often than not, is to just take punches for the rest of the team, and if they die, they die. Like they're setting up for the 3 die, and they get the 3 die on the 87 zombie, 30 player. And yes, 87 does a thing. Breaks armor into a miss next game, but regen also does a thing. As I was just saying. This Skink's probably going to stay back still, under no threat or pressure. And I think Rumblebee's okay with it. Oh, actually, he is moving back up. Well, not too far up, but Rumblebee's okay with that. When you set up this kind of a foul, it tells me that you are looking to just play the attrition. Get 1 die onto Cheney. And is forced to use a reroll into a red die. Oh no. Frenzy traps himself on that 1 die. I think that was a bit of a misplay. I don't think he was forced to make that block by any means. But he's punished for that. He goes down with a stun as well. That's going to set up a couple hits on Skinks and a large foul again on the Saurus if he wants to take it. I think we're actually going to be blitzing the Saurus over here. And this is the second time that these two coaches have played each other. The first time Rod was also missing for the game. And Luke Skywalker had an amazing game where he surfed several Saurus and also, I believe just without Mighty Blow, but just Claw alone, removed a Saurus too. So, looking for big things out of Luke. And I'm sure Waeve is aware of what his capabilities are. Both down on the golem here against the Skink, but the Skink survives. And yes, now that Luke Skywalker is exposed, here's the Killer Saurus coming in to try and address the threat that this wolf presents. There's the pylon too. A lot of people will say it's greedy to pile on when you don't have the armor break on the first roll. And a lot of times they're right. To me, this is not super secure. Now, putting this extra Saurus in here does make this a little bit safer of a position. The 1 die from the Skink. Rewarded with the knockdown on Cheney. Cheney's in a bit of a rough spot with that Croxigor there. But there is a free zombie here, and we can move that zombie over here. We'll see what takes up, but we've got 2 separate little scrums kind of coming out here. I like that chain push play to free up Cheney. It's going to allow him to swing around here, maybe? Oh, he's going to blitz the same source. Wrestling him down. I don't like that as much, but you 1 and 9 the block, I guess that's what you got to do. Finds the double pow onto Clayton. Clayton. gets stunned. Ghoul dodge out. Retreating back to safety here. Ghouls are always precious targets. And if he had left him anywhere within this killer's range, I'm sure that would have been the priority. One of the hardest things for lizards to do is foul. Skinks are rather expensive, so you don't often see them foul, but I think that is a juicy enough target to warrant a foul. Another injury that sounds like it is going to regen. You can always take a look at the player icon there, and if you see the injury, then they failed the regen roll. In case you see that the regen was good. But the numbers are starting to really tilt in the favor of the lizards right now, with 2 removals by blocks and 1 removal by the ref. We're going to need to see some kind of action or play come out of Rumblebee here. Oh, he's daring Luke Thightwalker to make a play right now. He is in range with tackle. He just has to get out of the diving tackle. See where this goes. The ghoul bravely stands up against the killer. And he gets the knockdown. If he didn't get the knockdown there, and he really needs an armor break too, because I would expect this to be the blitz. Although he's got some guard. But yeah, I expect that to be the blitz still. Luke Thightwalker does blitz the skink. Gets the knockdown, so he doesn't attempt the dodge, but he's going to mark the ball, I assume, on 2 GFIs. Yes, he does. Now we have tackle on this ball carrier. Failed dodge out to the left side. And setting up for the block on the frenzy piece. Not a knockdown. But really with this Saurus being marked and no break tackle, the skink is going to have to make a 2+ in order to get to freedom. Does have a reroll, so it's really just the 1 in 36 he has to worry about. Makes the dodge. But where is he going to go? Luke has incredible range. Okay, so he's going to get a little bit of a... No, not really a cage. Just trying to mark the threat. And I did call the blitz accurately. It was the ghoul, but the ghoul survives the block. You see the Croxagore come over and shut this down. And the skink dodges out. To me, this is a very easy dodge for that ghoul. And Cheney is stunned. Well, still has play here. This ball is not safe. There's the lightning bolt. I guess he had a wizard in addition to Cheney. I didn't realize he had the wizard. And that's an injury on the primary ball carrier with Blodge and Agi 4. That is going to be a missed skink for sure. Really, so far, Waeve has not played the ball very well. Done a good job of protecting it. There is the easy dodge out from the skink, which sets up the skink dive block, and he's going to blitz it so he can go ahead and pick up the ball. He's got sure hands. Reliably picks it up and makes some distance away. Tries to get a little bit further and overreaches, but burns the reroll, and that was his last reroll of the half, so he does another one afterwards too. Risky. But what does that get him? Get him out of range of the DT? Not really. I mean, with 2 GFIs. I guess it's forcing GFIs out of the DT, and probably also out of the range of this guy. But he doesn't have break tackle, so. Gollum does his job. Stands up to 2 blocks before he gets knocked down. And this Saurus is not going to be attempting the 5+ dodge. Really, if we make this blitz and succeed in the knockdown, or if we just choose to dodge away, very little that Waeve can do to stop the score. There's the GFIs to get the diving tackle onto the ball. And 2 more GFIs for double diving tackle. I would expect the blitz onto this skink. Push him hopefully once and then do another push or knock down at that point to get free from the diving tackle. And what was that? Hold up. That was a Crocs dodge. What is the situation over here? So we've got this Croxagore is completely blocked in. He makes the blitz with this guy, pushes himself off, and then attempts the dodge, which is the 5+. Doesn't re-roll it and breaks his own armor and gets injured. Look at the state of the map here. Add the diving tag. So Croxagore has a tail. I assume he's coming around to mark this ghoul to make the ghoul dodge harder. My question is, if you really were concerned about the ghoul, why wouldn't you use this skink over here? Or so it's a 1-die on the block. So you're making this instead of a 2-die play, you're making that a 1-die play. By doing that 5+ dodge. Let's see. I heard that Waeve had said in the chat that it was the right play to do that dodge to get this over here. Maybe after doing that. There's no way, obviously, that the Crocs can get down here or anyone else. I can see why he did it. Maybe what I would have done instead is position this skink right here. So then even if he does get the 2 pushes, how else could he have done it? I don't know. That's a conundrum. I don't ever want to say that I guess the blitz was the right play, but the dodge afterwards may not have been. And then actually it was, I can see actually why he's thinking that that's the right play. Obviously you can't count on the result of getting armor broke into injured from this Croxagore. It is badly hurt, I believe. Yeah, just badly hurt. I might have burned my apple on that. He didn't, but I might have. Regardless, that turnover happens. Let's see what Rod's reaction is to it. I would expect the ghoul to dodge. And that's what happens. Ghoul does make that dodge. So he gets knocked down on the first block. But makes the diving tackle dodge anyway. Why people always say diving tackle's a lie. And with that, Rumblebee goes up 1-0 off the Wizard. I think I can certainly see where Waeve wanted to make that dodge with the Croxagore the more I think about it. But all in all, in that first drive, I would say that he played just far too loose with the ball, with the skink. Especially knowing that Rumblebee had a Wizard. I think he could have done a lot more to either looser cage with it or just keep the ball further back. There was no pressure at all on the ball when he decided to bring it up. Having the werewolf, at mid-pitch here on the ground means that, if you keep it back here, you're out of his range. If he had just waited a turn to see what the wolf ends up doing, maybe it gets committed to this fight over here. Just swing up the left entirely and stay out of his range and not have to worry about it. We have a quick snap. I think this is what happened last time. But now down the Croxagore and the skink from the Wizard. We have the 1-turner on the pitch, and we actually are down a player to the Necro team. Done, and of course this gets piled on because we are still looking for the attrition as Waeve doesn't get it. Zombies continue to do their job. And this source opts to stay where he is. Does get the armor break, though. See what the blitz target's going to be. Are we even going to have a blitz? Well, at least this time he's setting up a cage. And he's going to protect the one-turner that way. Waeve learned from his mistake in the first drive, not respecting... I guess maybe he was over-respecting the wizard because he was worried about the fireball. Me, I'll always take a fireball over a lightning bolt. And that's where the blitz is going. Onto the zombie. See, now I think Wave's playing a little too loose with these skinks. They're very exposed, and I would personally prioritize blitzing them, getting them removed. Since you have the numbers advantage already. He goes right for the swords instead. Gets a stun, and places tackle onto the ball. So I would absolutely expect to see this being the blitz target. And tackle's on the ground because you palmed. You can do this block here to free up a path and get in there. So yeah, I would expect that to be play. I wouldn't push this way unless you're planning on escaping this way. And that's probably what we're seeing here. That push to the right tells me that that's what we're doing. Barry gets knocked out for the second time this match. No, he doesn't blitz with the tackle. Ooh, I don't like that at all. It would have been a GFI, but honestly, I think it would have been worth it. And that's exactly why. So he just stands this guy up. He doesn't even move him. And he goes for the early score. This is surprising. Oh, I guess it's turn 8, not early. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? I didn't even check the clock. That was the right play. But he fails 1 and 9's the handoff. I guess knowing that was turn 8, I don't think Rumblebee should have played it that way. I think he could have targeted some of the skinks a little better instead of just marking the ball carrier. In fact, I'm going to go back a turn. See what the state was when he took over here. Okay, so turn 8. You know that your opponent is trying to score here. He is in range from right here, but gotta basically, they'll have this all walled off for him, so he can't just go right straight through. Of the threats that are in scoring range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Technically, this guy's in scoring range. This guy's in scoring range. And this guy's in scoring range. This one is definitely not. 3, 4. Yeah, the sources aren't either. So, really, you've got 3 targets that you need to worry about. In my mind, you can shut this one down very easily. And so this was his first action, which was moving to mark this guy up. And at the same time, you can shut this one down using your golems to just make a big, huge wall of tackle zones. So this is the logical scoring threat. It's also the least, it's the closest to the goal with only 1 GFI. So I would probably have prioritized blitzing this and then moving your tackle back over here to try and just make the thick wall and screen so that the skink has to be the one that's taking the risk. Yeah. And then we'll watch really quickly how this plays out again and what the final state is at the end of the turn. Kind of assess what Rumblebee did to stop the score. So choosing to go for that source there, this does get a hard tackle on both these skinks. But that's still not bad. So we know that at this point, the skink is not going anywhere. And we know that this skink could still score. That's why he moves this column up here. See, that's... Okay, so that right there is the misplay. This white doesn't need to mark the source. If he stands right here and marks just the skink, that's going to be a very, very different turn for Waeve. Because if he marks the skink on this side, the blitz has to be either on this guy to get the tackle off him, or the blitz would then have to be on the white. And really, you could double up and put Cheney right there too. And that would ensure, well, there's a chain push, so he would have to come around from this side to chain push. So maybe Cheney goes right here, and the white goes right here. And then you can swing the ghoul around. But I don't see a world where this guy, because you can't blitz both of these two pieces. So I don't see a world really where Scorn, and really if the blitz is a push like it was, you've still got to worry about tackle as well. There's no way to get the werewolf off of this guy entirely. But yeah, that right there is what I don't like, is putting the white in that position. I think you put Cheney in that position, and then you put the white over by the skink. And see, Cheney does absolutely nothing right here. It's not blocking this guy either. So he's got all three of these squares completely shut down. So really, this skink would have to go sideways, and that would push him out of scoring range. So this skink cannot score with this position. So Cheney could have also come around and gone right here and been harder to knock over, but I think the roles reversed would have been much, much better. Rumblebee, we know, gets bailed out by the dice on this play. And Waeve does get a little bit punished with a 1 and 9. But going into the second half, I would say that this probably should have been 1-1. Watch the rest of Rumblebee's turn 8 here and see if there's any additional damage. 3 die onto the Blotch Skink. Does not yield results. And we're still hunting... Oh, we're going for the one-turner. But we failed the GFI. I was expecting him to hunt. Oh man, before you do the GFIs, I think you had other blocks that were saved for 2 runs. That's fine. I don't hate him going for that one-turner. I just wish he did the turn order a little bit differently there to get a couple more blocks first. He might have been even able to clear an easier path to that one-turner that didn't require a GFI. Then Barry returns from being knocked out. Barry's had an eventful day of back and forth from the sidelines to the pitch, from the sidelines to the pitch. And he's right back on the line of scrimmage. But now it is Rumblebee's turn to receive the ball. And Waeve is no doubt feeling the pressure, being the first place team, playing the last place team, and being down 0-1 on your own drive. I'm going to expect some riskier play coming out of Waeve to try and equalize this. If you come away with a draw, I think that's fine. I think you should certainly want the win and try to play for the win if you can, but at the very least, you want to walk away with a draw here. At the setup on the line here, one difference that I would make is swapping this golem and this golem, and that's so I could get my initial punch with block onto this skink. And then this is, of course, still a 2-die with this guy. I just am not a big fan of fishing for POWs. And actually, I take that back. The golem shouldn't be standing on that side because you can turn it into a 3-die as well. Perfect fit, so the point doesn't matter. But had this golem stood right here, they would have had a 3-die on that skink. Ooh, very aggressive placement of the one-turn skink, Brent. Basically, he's saying, if you fail this pickup, I'm going to go for that ball. Touchback, though, so he doesn't even get the chance, and I assume it's going to be on Luke Thighwalker. Yes, it is. Luke will not even have to worry about that, and that really means that Trent is fully exposed. There was no real threat over here. The whites are all kind of stacked on this side, so Trent is safe for now, and Willem Cheney. Ooh, that is a big injury. Oh, well, actually, no, it's not, because he's Agi 1. But it's big for me, because guess what? I play Waeve next week. And Virgil is going to be MIA. I will gladly take that. Double marking up on this skink here. He can just dive right through that if he wants, but I'm expecting him to go backwards because he should not make himself exposed. You see the zombie finds POW onto the skink. Luke does advance up the pitch, but stays out of the range of the source. You don't have to bring this guy back unless you're expecting all the skinks to just dive back into the field and get you. Dirty player foul onto the skink. No damage, but no send-off at least. Can the skinks even get you? I don't even think the skinks could get him there. I'm not a big fan of using extra players in the backfield if there's no one that can get you. It certainly can bite you if you make an early turnover without respecting someone's advance later on. But really, it was going to be, you know, Trent marking you and a bajillion dice for the diving tackle to get back there. But they'd still have to make a red die with no block. So I don't feel like Luke is under any danger there that would have warranted Johnny depth coming backwards. And I would have liked him to stay up a little bit further to, you know, protect Cheney. Waeve respects the damage that Cheney can bring and the value of that piece, and he goes and throws blitz at it, but only scores a push. Luke decides to swing left since the one-turner Trent has backed off a bit, and there's really no pressure on this side either. You see the blitz coming from the golem with Mighty Blow and a knockdown. No damage though. Cheney would have actually been able to pop that. And the killer does make a knockdown. And now we're just seeing 3 pile-ons. I don't think that that's a wise play right there. You're standing next to a dirty player. I get that you want to have some removals to try and snowball things back into your direction, but there's a certain amount of risk that's worth it, and that to me is not. We're fully inviting a foul here from Rumblebee. He's under no pressure to score. He can take his time and set up for a very large foul right there. Waeve is setting up a screen here and a good defense, but really Rumblebee show no interest in going forward. This I like. Aggressively moving this skink up towards the backfield. It's blodge, it's diving tackle. It is a legitimate threat on the ball, and it will require some kind of caging or defense. And wow, okay, we're just blitzing with the ball carrier here. And using a reroll too. Ooh. He finds the knockdown, but that was risky. Because if you reroll into a dub skull, you just lost the game. And you're handing them a score at that point. Harry Cox finds a knockdown onto Spritz. And we are setting up now for a nice, juicy foul. But it looks like I'm a skink instead of on the killer. I think I would have probably preferred to see him set up on the foul on the bruiser here. Big foul with the dirty player. Finds the knockout. And the KO box, or the send off into the Cavs box for Howl at the Moon. That was a big removal though. Oh, he appoed it. So not a huge removal. I don't like that appo, and here's why. He can just foul you again. He's got 2 zombies that are right here that can just, you know, free up this one source right here, or free up the zombie by punching the source, and there's another big old gang foul. Just to push out the killer so he cannot pile this one on for his own good, and he doesn't follow up the block. Did it as a blitz action so he can step back a little bit. Maybe realized he was not in the safest of positions. And now the skinks are coming in the screen, so it's can kind of tell you the desperation. He's not protecting these skinks, even though he just appoed the KO'd one. And see, this is why I would have said to appo the badly hurt Croxagore, and I almost wonder if it was just in sheer shock that the failed dodge did that to him, that he didn't do it. But if you're worried about having numbers on the pitch enough that you're going to appo a KO'd blodge diving tackle, I think you would have been well more served by appoing that Croxagore that, frankly, Rumblebee did not have an answer for. Blitzing onto a skink with Wilhelm. Wilhelm without tackle, but still is able to find the POW thanks to Frenzy, the poor man's tackle. And a nice little scrum here. But if you actually value these pieces, this equation is going heavily in favor of Waeve. Really, if you just section off this part of the pitch right here, and really this left half of the map, or the pitch, that is Waeve is winning as far as the control goes and positioning. And sure enough, here is the foul again on the skink that he just appoed. And now he's cast. Badly hurt, so he's not punished for the appo, but to me, I mean, he's punished in the sense that he's still going to be down that player. But the send-off, so really it cost them 2 zombies in order to get rid of that diving tackle skink. But I think worth it. And there's a dub skull that's re-rolled. Skinky Island boys. And again, just keeping all these players locked down. Very, very control efficient from him. Going for that ghoul. He finds the POW with his killer. I wonder if he piles it on. He doesn't pile it on. I would be nervous about getting surfed in this position. You know, marking a frenzy piece like that. Does swing a second skink around here. The skink doesn't have diving tackle though, so I'm not really sure what purpose it's serving. Maybe trying to dissuade the surf, but I don't think it does too much to do that, because really all he has to do is push this source 1 square back, and then he can surf. Or, oh, even better, the double surf with Cheney. And that might be what we're doing, because we just freed this, we freed Cheney up here, and there's a nice path for a double surf. We just need to get somebody into this square right here. Sure enough, one die rerolls with the zombie in order to free this up and set up the double push surf, but he gets the knockdown. If this was a push, the first one, he could have surfed both the skink and the Saurus. Pretzel the third, the rookie skink, no more. Pretzel the fourth, on his way to the pitch. And with that, we're seeing a potato play. The one-turner comes over here to help with the Saurus. I don't know if this was a blitz or not. It was not a blitz. If it was a blitz, he could have come down here and at least marked Rod. This ends up being the blitz action. He had break tackle though, so I don't know what this accomplished. I don't think this accomplished much at all. I would have much rather seen this one be your blitz action, and then, you know, done something else. Attempts the 5+ source dodge, and a second time a 5+ dodge fails into a badly hurt injury. Wow. Nuffle does not want to see source dodges today. Save the Jurassic Park memes. It is not happening. And really, with that casualty, I don't think there's any way that Rumblebee can lose this game. Doesn't do the surf again. I was actually expecting the surf right there. He could have surfed this one. At this point now, I'm just expecting all the surfs, because these Saurus are dangerously close to the edge of the pitch. I think Rumblebee let him get away with one there. It does have break tackle, so he can make his way and put a little pressure on there. And we are seeing another foul. Oof. Referee is not having any of it. We've seen 5 fouls attempted and 4 send-offs. Jeez. But you know what? The fouls have been really good. Even though they're just stuns, they're effective in what they've done for the control of this game. And Waeve has just given up this match entirely. Not chasing after that ball carrier. Not protecting a skink, though. I think I personally would have had Trent somewhere back here, away from the pressure, or even just deeper down this side of the pitch. Anywhere but where he is. Leaving your one-turner like this exposed is not worth it, especially since you have no Apo. He might be setting up a 3-die. He is setting up a 3-die onto the one-turner. Finds the POW. Just a stun. I wonder if we'll see another foul, even though we've got only a couple players left on the pitch to do it. This zombie. Good old Barry. He's got a job. It'll be Barry's big moment. He's going for the foul. Barry, what do you got left in the tank? Just a KO. Bruiser is not pleased with that foul. Goes after Johnny Depth. I assume we'll see a pile on. We do. No results. Not a good day for Bruiser. Bruiser has spent a lot of time willfully putting himself onto the ground and not getting anything for it. And honestly, if you're asking me, it's turn 16, so he's not going to get fouled. So I guess that's probably the most acceptable piling on that we've seen so far from Bruiser, since it is turn 16 and not going to get fouled with the send-off rate that we have. But there is going to be one last blitz before we see the score. Jamie is one last stun and armor break to end the match. Are we going to see a foul? Oh, Rumblebee. Oh, the referee likes it anyway. Ooh, that was a juicy foul. That was pretty spicy on turn 16 with the score imminent. Granted, he didn't need it. He had won either way. So it's not like it was that big of a deal. Luke is not going to be making Legend anytime soon. But that was a spicy foul. I'm guessing that had to do with some history. Look at that Kaz box. All the dancing zombies. What a spicy foul. What does he got at SP? Yeah, he's so far away from Legend. So he didn't need that touchdown for any reason other than just, you know, because he could. I'm guessing if these two coaches ever see each other next season, we're going to see some interesting plays as well. I kicked in the turn, and I'm now really curious to see if we actually have a rare Saurus foul. Finally! Oh no, Barry! Finally, the piling on does a thing. And as you can see right there, that is not regen. Barry McCockeneer played his little legs off and did not survive Bruiser. Bruiser getting the last laugh on Barry. And Shaney getting knocked out for good measure as well. But we're finding their armor breaks on turn 16. Well, now there's nobody to foul. I guess you can still blitz, but I don't think you have anybody left to foul with. He does not. No skinks on the pitch. Renzi's going to give him another shot. He does get the knockdown onto John Cusack. but no injury. And that's where this match ends. Oof, what a match. That last death, Barry's death, that one got me. Really, really punished Waeve for those 5+ dodges. Not often do you see a source fail a dodge into a casualty. Armor value 9 usually holds up quite well in those situations and circumstances, but not today. Waeve was not having it. The only thing I really didn't like I didn't like the pylons, but specifically though the ball control and the way he responded to the wizard in the first half, I think was not optimal. I think he just kind of overlooked and was extremely overconfident by the way he was playing. And after that, he kind of got back into it. After that first score, he kind of shook off the overconfidence, but it was too late at that point. I mean, he did fail 1 and 9 the handoff to the Skink for the tying score, but in the second half, even if he had gotten that score, it seemed like he was not playing his right game, and he allowed himself to get into a really rough spot on the sideline where, had Rumblebee wanted, I think he could have surfed a couple Saurus. So even if that score had happened at turn 8, I don't think that changes the outcome of this game. I think it's still a win for Rumblebee. It just is a 2-1 instead of a 2-0. Altamoon didn't actually even take that many blocks, but they just made the most of the ones that they had, and the injuries that came from self-inflicted wounds by Waeve were what really swung the game. 6 casualties sustained, but only 1 was inflicted by Rumblebee, so that's not gonna feel great. That's really not gonna feel great. Wilhelm Chaney stealing the MVP in addition to the 1 casualty that was inflicted on Waeve, so he had a big game, and Luke Thywalker, of course, had 2 touchdowns. The real star of the game left it all on the pitch. R.I.P. Barry McCockanier. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate you guys from watching, and I will see you guys next time.